Or
So, as I understand your question, is there something you can do as an individual once you see the news and you know a hurricane is approaching?
yeah, because you usually hear some warning that you don't know how soon it's going to be on top of you, but you.
Yeah. My best answer for that is long-term community support, meaning that I think it would be wonderful if we had people already organized to support people, such as me, for instance, in the role of scout. So, for instance, if we heard a stage 5 hurricane was coming, you would call me and say, what's your schedule? Can you go over? If you can't go over, who else can go over? Because then you have someone on site who's the eyes and ears of how bad things are and what the critical need is and where to send stuff. The second thing I would recommend is just, because the challenge as a project manager for me is that, for instance, lots of people send clothes. Clothing. And in the first week or two, clothing is wonderful. But after that, it's terrible because we only have like one tent. And we have all this clothing that no one wants because they don't really have room to take it to the motel, and they don't really, they're not focused on that. They're focused on getting their house back or getting, things stabilized. So it's a real pain in the neck to send clothing after that point. So there's a few basic things that Sarah put out on an email that are almost always needed, such as baby wipes.
Cleaning supplies.
Cleaning supplies, especially bleach, but to be honest, I think some of the large organizations do a fairly good job of handling that. So I think in general it's better to get together and form a group to sponsor a truck, especially if it's within, here on the East Coast and within distance. So the thing I would do is first start fundraising or trying to get someone to donate a truck and find a volunteer driver to go. And then start, because reality is the need is addressed best in the very beginning. It starts here with so much and then immediately starts plummeting down. So within a few months, there's almost nothing coming in. So to me, one of the things that's ironic is that even though it's a disaster and a crisis, is that you can take your time usually. Especially if you're within like 4 or 5 hours away. Because what happened in New Jersey was people an hour or two away, churches and synagogues and civic organizations like the Rotary immediately went over and started pitching in. So they're kind of handling it, and my organization, which is called Rainbow Response, went in immediately and set up.
How about Occupy?
I've never volunteered with Occupy. I would love to. I think they have a lot going for them. I think it's amazing to see more people get to disaster areas. I was thrilled to see that Cornell, because of one student who asked her mother to sponsor a bus, just this last weekend took 50 people to help in, I think it was Rockaway, New York. And it's twofold. One is the helping, but the second part is the education. I helped sponsor over 300 college and university students and faculty to come to the 9th Ward of New Orleans. And I think the educational impact was by far the most potent part of their time there. Did that answer your question?